Catalhoyuk is a Neolithic and Chalcolithic proto-city settlement located in southern Anatolia in modern-day Turkey. Its location overlooks the fertile Konya plain. The site is composed of two mounds, an eastern and a smaller western one. The eastern mound contains the older primary Neolithic settlement layers. The main settlement on the eastern mound existed from approximately 7,400 BC to 6,200 BC. This 1,200-year span of occupation resulted in deep archaeological layers. The western mound was occupied later, in the Chalcolithic period, dating from around 6,200 BC to 5,200 BC. The later inhabitants continued many of the cultural practices of their predecessors. At its peak, the population of Catalhoyuk is estimated to have been between 3,000 and 10,000 people. This large number makes it one of the largest and earliest urban centers of its time. The settlement was abandoned before the Bronze Age for reasons that are still largely unknown. Possible factors in its decline may have included changes in climate or resource availability. The site was first discovered by British archaeologist James Mellaart in the late 1950s. Mellaart led the initial major excavations between 1961 and 1965. After a 30-year hiatus, excavations were resumed in 1993 under the direction of Ian Hodder of Stanford University. Hodder introduced new interdisciplinary techniques for studying the site with greater detail. In July 2012, the Neolithic site of Catalhoyuk was inscribed as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. This designation recognizes its outstanding universal value for understanding human prehistory. The name Catalhoyuk is Turkish for forked mound, likely referencing how the road leading to the site branches off. This name aptly describes the appearance of the two distinct settlement mounds rising from the plain. Houses at Catalhoyuk were built adjacent to one another, with shared walls and no streets in between. This unique honeycomb-like urban plan provided communal security and optimized land use. Access to the houses was primarily through openings in the flat roofs using wooden ladders. The rooftops served as the primary thoroughfares or streets for the inhabitants. The houses were rectangular mud brick structures, constantly repaired and rebuilt over time. This process of building new homes on top of old ones created the distinct occupational layers, tells of the mound. Each house typically consisted of a main room and smaller ancillary rooms used for storage. The main rooms featured raised platforms used for sleeping, sitting, and working. Interior walls and platforms were covered in a smooth layer of plaster, which was frequently renewed. This practice suggests a strong emphasis on cleanliness and maintaining the living space. The ceiling openings also functioned as the only source of ventilation for the homes. This allowed smoke from internal hearths and ovens to escape the living area. Communal ovens were often located on the rooftops, where group activities likely took place. The elevated space facilitated social interaction among residents. There is little evidence of social or economic hierarchy among the inhabitants based on house size or contents. Most dwellings were of comparable size and contained similar features, suggesting an egalitarian community structure. Storage was crucial, with bins located within the houses holding agricultural products. The organization of internal space reflects a structured domestic life. There were no obvious public buildings found in Catalhoyuk, such as temples or palaces. This suggests a lack of centralized authority or a ruling class at that time. The economy of Catalhoyuk was based on a mix of agriculture, animal domestication, hunting, and gathering. This diverse subsistence strategy provided a stable food supply and allowed for a sedentary lifestyle. Inhabitants cultivated various crops, including wheat, barley, and peas. They used techniques such as irrigation to ensure successful harvests in the region. The primary domesticated animals were sheep and goats, with evidence of early cattle domestication as well. Hunting wild animals like aurochs, wild cattle, deer, and boar remained an important source of meat. The surrounding area provided natural resources like reeds for roofs and wood for construction and fuel. Nearby wild food sources included almonds, pistachios, and apples. The people of Catalhoyuk were prominent in the obsidian trade networks that spanned the region. Obsidian, volcanic glass, was a valuable material for creating sharp tools and weapons. Finished obsidian tools were traded for other goods, such as shells from the Mediterranean coast and flint from Syria. These trade links indicate the settlement was well connected regionally. The development of ceramics was also a significant craft in the settlement. Pottery found at the site provides clues about their technological capabilities and daily practices. Evidence of textiles, although fragmented and often burnt, has been found during excavations. This suggests the inhabitants were engaged in weaving and cloth production. The use of stamped seals made of terracotta suggests the concept of private property may have existed. These seals might have been used to mark ownership of goods or property. The community showed signs of labor specialization over time, moving from self-sufficient households to a system where residents relied on others' expertise. This shift marks an important step toward a more complex society. A rich collection of art has been found at Catalhoyuk, including wall paintings, reliefs, and sculptures. The art provides insights into the symbolic world and belief systems of the inhabitants. Wall paintings often depicted hunting scenes, geometric patterns, and animal figures. These images were integral to the everyday life and ritual practices within the homes. One famous wall painting is considered by some archaeologists to be the world's oldest map or first landscape painting. The mural depicts the settlement with the twin peaks of the nearby volcano, Mount Hassan, in the background. Animal remains, particularly the plastered skulls of bulls, bucrania, were incorporated into the architecture. These installations, especially with horns pointing out from walls or platforms, were a striking form of interior decoration. The majority of animals depicted in the art were wild, even though domesticated animals were consumed. This focus might reflect the inhabitants' strong memory of a past where hunting was more central to survival. Numerous clay figurines have been found at the site, with a large number depicting animals. Fewer than 5% of the total figurines found were female human figures, challenging earlier interpretations of a dominant mother goddess cult. The most famous artifact is the seated woman of Catalhoyuk figurine, which depicts a large woman sitting on or between two felines. While some see her as a powerful deity, others view the figurines as wish tokens or charms. Burials were conducted inside the houses, typically beneath the floors or sleeping platforms. This practice suggests a strong connection to ancestors and a desire to keep the deceased close to the living. Bodies were often placed in a flexed or fetal position and wrapped in mats or baskets before burial. The orientation and preparation of the bodies followed specific cultural traditions. In some cases, skulls were removed from the burials after defleshing and covered with clay or plaster to recreate facial features. This practice, also found in other Neolithic sites in the region, might be related to ancestor worship rituals. Children's bodies were the only ones often treated differently in burials, decorated with beads and covered with ochre red pigment. This special concern for the youth may be linked to the community's need for more labor, inheritance, and a growing sedentary population. Rooms containing concentrations of totemic items and elaborate decorations may have served as shrines or specific ritual areas. These spaces highlight the importance of ritual in the daily lives of the residents. One notable discovery was a unique plaster head with obsidian flakes for eyes, a feature rare in Neolithic Anatolia. This interdisciplinary find offered an opportunity to study the context of art and ritual practices in detail. Some wall reliefs depicted vultures swooping down on headless human figures. The exact meaning of these powerful images remains a mystery, but they likely reflect specific beliefs about death and the afterlife. The repetitive nature of renewing the house plaster and art suggests that the physical act of creation and maintenance was itself a vital, functional part of life. This ongoing process was a form of human-thing entanglement with their environment and homes. The use of red ochre was significant in their rituals, used to color artifacts, walls, and even children's bodies. This color likely held a specific symbolic meaning related to life, blood, or the sacred. Only about 5% of the vast Catalhoyuk settlement area has been excavated by archaeologists. This means a wealth of groundbreaking information likely remains buried in the unexcavated mounds. The initial excavations by Mellaart were fast-paced, while Hodder's later approach focused on slow, detailed, and holistic studies using modern technology. These different methodologies have shaped the varying interpretations of the site over the decades. An experimental house was built at the site in 1999 to test theories about daily life in the Neolithic era. This life-size reconstruction allows researchers and visitors to better understand the living conditions of the ancient inhabitants. Artifacts found at Catalhoyuk are mainly exhibited at the Museum of Anatolian Civilizations in Ankara and the Konya Archaeological Museum. To see the original significant finds, visitors must go to these specific museums in Turkey.